Google has their own AI, and this is what AI says. For women in their 40s looking to exercise properly, focus on a balanced routine including both strength training and cardiovascular exercise.
Oh, and a full year, and that lets you save. Who cares?
Welcome to a brand new edition of Ageless Energy, where we talk about how to burn fat, increase energy, and balance hormones for women over 40. Over the past 20 years as a performance coach, I've worked with hundreds of women that have the exact same struggles you do. I hope to shine some light with this podcast on what can be the most challenging time of your life and let you know there is hope to find success with your health and what you're looking for. Please share and enjoy. Good morning. Today we are talking about how to properly exercise for women 40 plus. Is Google right or wrong? If you're not sure who I am, my name is Drew Tadia, founder and CEO of True Form Life. For the past 20 years, we've been helping women 40 plus increase energy, burn body fat, and balance hormones. So if that's you, you're in the right place. Today we have another episode of Is Google right or wrong? Busting myths. We are literally Googling to see what the answer is. And I'm going to tell you my opinion, whether I agree with it or not. So that's what we are doing today. If you have questions, feel free to ask and I'll answer. And if you're listening to this possibly on YouTube or a podcast called Ageless Energy, which we repurpose, you can ask your questions below and we'll do our best to answer. Let's get into it. So all I'm doing is I feel like sometimes we just keep Googling until we find the answer we want. And also I think that we Google something one time and then that's gospel. So my goal here is to offer some insight on whether I feel this topic is correct or incorrect. I'm going to Chrome. I don't know if this is worth mentioning, but if you go to different search engines, Chrome, Safari, Brave, they'll give you different information. So like, for example, Google has their own AI, and this is what AI says. For women in their 40s looking to exercise properly, focus on a balanced routine including both strength training and cardiovascular exercise, aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity, like anyone knows what that means, or 75 minutes of vigorous activity per week. Again, that's pretty vague, but we'll get into it. Incorporate exercises like squats, lunges, planks, and glute bridges. I wonder why they picked those. And consider activities like brisk walking, jogging, or swimming. All right, though that's all pretty good information. We're going to dive a little bit deeper here. Let's see the breakdown. So they break down strength training, cardio, and then frequency. This is nice. This is great. You don't need a coach or a trainer. Just Google. Too bad. Okay. What is the best exercise routine for a 40-year-old woman? Try brisk walking for 30 minutes a day, 5 times per week. If you have less time, which you can do more intense exercises such as jogging or running, then that only needs to be 50 minutes per day. Okay, that's a lie. Or that's false information. Don't worry, I'm going to get into these in a little bit more detail. How often should a woman in her 40s exercise? Both the World Health Organization and the Center for Disease Control and Prevention recommend at least 150 to 300 minutes of moderate exercise. That's if I was really trying to learn something from randomly Googling, this would be terribly frustrating. What does vigorous exercise mean? And what does moderate exercise mean? Like, it's very unclear. And then 150 to 300 minutes. Okay. So that works out to be 30 minutes a day, 5 to 7 days a week. Oh, there's a lot to that I agree with and disagree with. Can I reshape my body at 40? No matter what age, you can improve your fitness. Is it too late to get in better shape? Age drives me crazy how people consider age. Like, they're talking about 40-year-olds being old or being too old to see results. Oh my God. Can I get toned? Can a 40-year-old woman get toned? Of course they can. An aging body can be toned for sure, but an aging muscular body will look different than a younger muscular body. That's super helpful, isn't it? Which exercise is best for anti-aging? It says squats. If you want to stay young, do squats. By doing so, you're working out the entire body. I've never understood a squat to work your shoulders or biceps or back. Okay, that's fun. let me jump in here. I don't know if you guys think it's as entertaining as I do. Okay, let me see. Strength training, why is it important? As you age, muscle mass naturally declines. This is true, leading to a slower metabolism and increased risk of falls and injuries. True. Strength training helps combat the decline and improves overall strength and stability. Yeah, 100%. So it is mind-boggling to me how many people consider themselves healthy at an older age and don't exercise. Most of the time, we have a skewed perspective of reality. That could be finances, that could be relationship, certainly health. Exercise helps in so many different ways. Right here, we're talking about like many women in particular fear. If you talk to them, they'll fear falling as they get older. You'll notice their balance will be less stable as they age. I'm not talking about just like, this isn't just women. This is as we age as humans. But you need to exercise for your brain health to increase your metabolism, like this is talking about here. I would go as far as to say exercise will also improve your digestion. Like there's so many different benefits here. So maybe we know that we should be exercising. We just don't know what. These ones exercise to consider. I'm a fan of full body weight exercises. Squats, full body weight. I wouldn't say there's this like, I don't know if it's a movement or individuals or what it is, but these people are talking about how women should be lifting heavy at an older age. I think that's false. I wouldn't even lift heavy at my age. So I don't know why women would want to be doing super heavy lifting to help with like osteoporosis. Like that's not going to help with your joints. That's not going to help with your back health. Lifting heavy is not. I'm not a fan of. I would even say you shouldn't be lifting heavy at too young of an age. But anyways, maybe that's a different subject. So squats and lunges, or squats in particular, you don't need a squat rack. You can do bodyweight squats, bodyweight lunges, planks, fantastic, glute bridges. There's like this, everyone wants a booty now, right? Like women in particular. So you go to the gym and you see all these women doing like hip raises, like weighted hip raises. It's a little bit entertaining, but there was a comment here in particular where it said squats for anti-aging. Like one exercise alone isn't going to improve your overall. Like if you just did squats, it's not going to help you anti-age. I mean, you have to look at your diets. You have to look at your stress levels, your sleep. Like it's a holistic avenue, right? If you really want to improve your health. Frequency, aim for 2 to 3 times a week. So 2 is false. You're not going to see results at 2 times a week. But before people come into our program, we have a questionnaire, bit of an application, and we say, can you exercise a minimum of 3 times a week? And I'm talking about particularly women 40 plus. So you see women that will come in and work out once or twice a week. This is when I used to be in the gym, and they didn't see the results they're hoping for. They probably didn't do the work on the nutrition end, but certainly twice a week for exercise, it's not going to do much for you. Take that with a grain of salt. It's going to do a little bit. Like it's better than nothing, but you're certainly not going to get the results you're hoping for. Cardiovascular. So this is a tough one because women in particular love cardio, or they'd prefer to do cardio over resistance training. By resistance training, I'm talking about the squats, lunges, planks, bridges. So you're not able to replace resistance training with cardio and get the same results. You can complement your exercise routine with some type of exercise. That could be brisk walking, like this mentioned. It could be swimming, could be walking, whatever it is. I could tell you for a fact that we have people in our programs that have tried to just swim and they don't see the results, or they try to just walk and they don't see results that they want. So you have to add you have to have your baseline of resistance training, a minimum of 3 times a week, and then you build from there. And then it says hit high intensity interval training, short bursts of intense exercise. I think that's overkill. It's definitely. In fact, we'll see women working out too hard or too often. I shouldn't say often, but sometimes when we put our body in a consistent state of stress, it increases cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone, and then imbalances your hormones, and then you don't put your body in a fat burning stage, increasing your metabolism to see the results you're hoping for, and your body hangs on to body fat instead of burning it off. That's you working out too often or too hard. It's rare, but it happens. We definitely see that come into play. Let's see let me go over some other general tips. Start slowly. Yes. Listen to your body. Probably. Although I think a lot of people don't know the difference between pain and uncomfort, being uncomfortable. A lot of people connect being uncomfortable. So they're like, oh my gosh, this push-up is really hard. It's uncomfortable and hard. And then they say, oh, I can't do that. It hurts too much. I'm like, well, you're probably not used to a certain level of uncomfort, especially in your body, uncomfortability, because you just haven't learned that skill, or you haven't learned that emotion of being uncomfortable to stretch your comfort zone to see results, which is a problem. Like it's a problem because it's not identified. You don't identify it as a problem. You don't realize, like, it's easy. You have lower back pain. I have lower back pain. I mean, I don't. If you have lower back pain, for example, you can easily diagnose that yourself. It's pretty simple to be like, oh my God, my back. It's much harder to say there's a difference, to try to teach someone there's a difference between a pain levels, like acute pain that makes things worse, or you're just uncomfortable. And if you're just uncomfortable, it's life. You got to push through if you want to see the results. One of the things I would like to ask of you guys is that some of you know that I don't run ads on the show and don't plan on in the immediate future. So the only ask I have for you is that you help us spread the word so we can help more women burn body fat, increase energy, and balance their hormones. And the only way that we can do that is if you can rate and review this podcast. So the single thing that I could have you do or could ask of you is to leave a review. It'll take 5 minutes or one swipe of the thumb. It would mean the absolute world to me. And more importantly, you could change the world for someone else. As many of you know, there's plenty of women that struggle in this age group for balancing hormones, increasing energy, and burning body fat. So if you could help spread the word, that would make a big difference in our life and probably someone else's as well. This one here is best exercise routine for a 40-year-old woman. And then they have a lady that looks like she's probably 80. Like, it drives me crazy how we treat 40-year-olds or 50-year-olds like they're 100. Like, you can do so many things at an older age. And I don't even know if I'd consider 40 an older age. Maybe a 17-year-old would consider that. But you're hardly middle-aged. And people are like so out of shape. And they just, then they say, oh, well, age caught up to me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're not 92. Okay. So this one says, try brisk walking for 30 minutes, 5 days a week. That's nonsense. Like, it's great for like vision, get some fresh air, get some vitamin D. You're not going to burn body fat. Probably not going to lose, unless you're 400 pounds, you're not going to lose a bunch of weight by just walking. I'm telling you from experience. Like, we have ladies that come into our program, like, I walk all the time. And I'm like, okay, how's that going for you? So we got to change nutrition. That's one thing. And then, of course, we have to put them on a proper exercise routine. And then they see results. Like, oh, then they say, oh, I didn't realize walking wasn't enough. And I'm like, well, you were doing it and weren't getting any results. So what did you think was going on there? That's probably enough. What, can I reshape my body? Yeah, you can. You can, without question. But you need proper nutrition. Like, usually women in this age group have low protein and high carbs, that your macros need to be balanced. And the problem is that, again, it's a problem awareness. You don't know your macros need to be balanced and you don't know how to balance them. And then if you're not willing to invest in coaching or training or teaching or learning, struggle for 40 more years. Can I get toned? Yeah, you can get toned, of course. This one says, which exercise is best for anti-aging squats? It's nonsense. Is it hard to get in shape after 40? It might be harder. Yeah, it might be harder. Sure. I could agree with that. Getting fit after 40 is still possible. Yeah, 100% it's possible. You know what's interesting to me? I see like guys now that are like probably between 50 and 60 and they're like shredded. They're ripped and they're healthy and fit and like no meds. And I just think that's something to aspire to. And that's, gosh, I don't even know if I'd say that's old, but it's definitely older. It doesn't matter. But if the people that you should be like looking up to, those are the people that should be strong, healthy, and fit at a later age, because then you know that's possible. What exercise gets rid of menopause belly? Brisk walk, that's a lie. Cycling, swimming, no, that's not. Your exercise to get rid of meno belly, that's like you see people at the gym like do abs after ab burn to get abs. You don't really get abs through crunches. What exercise gets rid of meno belly? You have to look at digestion. What's going on with digestion in particular? Inflammatory foods, even stress levels cause the menopausal symptoms to be inflamed. And probably, I don't know, I'd probably say resistance training would be better off than some of these dancing. What kind of dancing are we doing? Okay, it's getting loud in here, and I feel like I've been on long enough. Any questions, let us know. Our main website, trueformlife.com. Whoa! Reach out if you have any questions. We're always happy to help. Have a great day, everyone.